Bitcoin, for the most part, attracts missionaries, right? These are people who believe in Bitcoin. They believe in the ethos of Bitcoin. They believe in the future world that Bitcoin can create. And they believe that holding this asset for a long period of time is going to end up being really, really valuable. And they are willing to suffer all of the volatility in the meantime, from 10 to 64,000, from 64 to 30,000, from 30,000 to 50,000, to back down to 30,000, to wherever we go next. They are willing to suffer through all of that volatility because they believe. They are not mercenaries. They are not just here for short-term profits. They are missionaries, not mercenaries. And the reason why that's important is because they are mission-driven. And when you have mission-driven holders, you get what is unique to the Bitcoin ecosystem, which is you get 80+% of all Bitcoin in circulation that is not lost being held by long-term holders who are not willing to sell. And so you get these supply squeezes that continue to push the price higher and higher in US dollar terms. Other assets who promise all kinds of shiny things or really, really big short-term profits end up attracting the mercenaries, not the missionaries. We've seen this with project after project after project, where people rush in, they make a profit. So you can't take that away from them. They are making a profit in the short term. But then eventually what happens is they move on to the next thing, and the people who are late to buying that asset usually actually end up losing. And so if you are attracting mercenaries and not missionaries, you are likely to enrich the people who are early to something, and they will be the beneficiaries. It's the Cantonian effect, the exact same thing that we have in the fiat system. Those that are closest to the money or those that are early, they get enriched. Everyone who's late or who's far away from the creation of money ends up actually not doing so well. But Bitcoin is different. Bitcoin has very much a missionary type holder base, and that is where you see that durability that gets built into it. And so I think that as we continue to see more and more new things pop up, we're going to continue to see these narratives that flash up. They appear to be the future. There is some truth to those narratives. That's why there's value being accrued there. But over a long period of time, what you continue to see is that Bitcoin is the most durable asset in the market. And I think I recently did an interview with William Green that we'll be releasing probably early next week. William is the author of Richer, Wiser, Happier, a book where he goes and he interviews the best investors in the world. And there's a couple of key components to that book. Things like, one, understand your circle of competence, right? Right now, crypto is becoming so complex. There's so many different worlds. Are you an expert in DeFi? Are you an expert in NFTs? Are you an expert in Bitcoin? Are you an expert in layer one smart contract platforms? Or are you an expert in stable coins? Like, it is impossible for one person to be an expert in all of these things and to remain kind of fully on top of everything that's happening. The industry is moving too fast. So you're going to start seeing fragmentation. You're going to start seeing kind of expertise in the individual sub-verticals. So understand your circle of competence and make sure you stay there. Don't try to play games where you don't have an advantage, you don't have an edge. The second thing is that most of these investors actually have very, very concentrated portfolios. So if you were to ask a Charlie Munger or a Warren Buffett, for the most part, they just hold Berkshire stock. If you were to look at, let's say, Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk, he has SpaceX, he has Tesla stock, he's got Neuralink stock, the things he works on. He owns no public stocks otherwise. If you look at somebody like a Nick Sleep or John Templeton, etc., most of these people, they actually don't have really, really big portfolios. They simply are holding the best assets they can find, and they look at it and watch it like a hawk. And then the last thing is that there's this element of super long-term thinking, right? 10, 15, 20 years ahead. They're not trying to optimize for how do I make money in the next 30 days? How do I pick an asset that's going to go up the most in the next 30 days? Instead, they're looking out over long time frames. And if they consistently get that right, they have a much better chance of outperforming over the long term, because those short-term decision makers end up actually succumbing to the human emotions of fear, greed, etc. And also, it's hard if you have to make a different decision every 30 days. Just in a 1 year period, that means you have to get 12 decisions right. Whereas if you're a long-term thinker and you pick the right asset one time, you have to make one good decision, and you basically just have to sit there on your hands. So it's a different way of investing, but it ends up, if you look in history over long periods of time, those who pick great assets, hold them for a long period of time, have concentrated portfolios and understand what they're doing and stay within that circle of competence, they end up outperforming for the most part.
People say we're in the first inning of Bitcoin. Let's see where it goes.
We will see. We will see what happens. What's up, guys? Bang, bang. Thanks so much for watching The Best Business Show today. If we're going to be the best business show, we obviously need the best partner. That's why the exclusive sponsor of The Best Business Show is SoFi. They're an all-in-one platform that allows you to invest in all kinds of different assets, including stocks, ETFs, crypto, IPOs, and they even have an automated investing function, if that's your thing. So before we start getting after it again, make sure that you go download SoFi, you get an invest account, and when you make your first crypto trade, regardless of what you buy, they'll give you $10 in Bitcoin for free. It's that simple. Head on over to SoFi.com/pomp to get started today. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you come back and watch more of the Best Business Show tomorrow.